Sit back, I'm going to tell you a story. It's a story of a homeowner who decided he was going to put out a squirrel feeder for the squirrels in his backyard. So he puts up this squirrel feeder, and on Monday he puts in peanuts. A squirrel comes, eats a peanut, and then immediately sneezes, and the homeowner thinks that's odd. Tuesday comes, he puts peanuts in there again. Another squirrel comes, eats a peanut, and sneezes. Wednesday comes, he puts up peanuts again. A squirrel comes along, eats it, and that squirrel sneezes. Same thing happens on Thursday. Now on Friday, the homeowner decides, I'm going to try putting almonds in the squirrel feeder. And sure enough, on Friday, a squirrel comes along, eats the almond and sneezes, and the homeowner thinks, I guess it's the almonds that are making them sneeze. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is because it goes along with today's Mint Mobile hotline question of the day. If you guys have a question for our show, either our podcast or one of our videos here on the YouTube channel, you can call our hotline anytime 24/7 at 951-268-4259. And today's question has to do with a theory about why the DC movies are failing lately. Check it out.
Hey, John and crew, this is Thad. I'm calling because, like you, I enjoyed Flash and thought it was a really good movie. But I want to say, I feel like people aren't coming to see The Flash and possibly any other DC movie simply because of the fact that they don't see it going anywhere. And I feel like that's because when James Gunn made his announcement, that Superman Legacy would be the beginning of the new DCEU, people just felt like they didn't need to go see these movies because they didn't see them going anywhere. Thanks.
Thanks a lot for calling that in. And this is a theory I've been hearing a lot lately. By the way, I should mention that our very own Chris Carr kind of has this theory as well. And the theory basically goes like this, that the reason that, say, The Flash and, say, Shazam 2 were failing was because, after Black Adam, James Gunn made it official that there is a brand new, whether it's a hard reboot, a semi-hard reboot, whatever, of the DCU coming. And the theory basically says, people aren't coming to see the DC movies because they know that this particular universal cinematic universe is coming to an end. Now, I've personally always disagreed with that sentiment. I mean, people go to see movies to see a movie, regardless of what comes after it or how it connects to other things. I think the average general movie-going audience goes to see a movie for seeing a good movie. That's why they go. And I'm even willing to bet if you walk into an average mall and ask 1,000 people, average people, hey, did you know that DC is rebooting next year? Most of them probably have no idea what you're talking about. But I want to get back to this story about the homeowner and the squirrel. The homeowner who gave squirrels nuts every day for 4 days, and they always sneezed after eating the nuts. And then on the 5th day, put out an almond, and they sneezed after the almond and said, it must be the almonds that are making them sneeze. Now, obviously, that's ridiculous. But the reason I tell that particular story is because it's kind of what's going on here with DC. The suggestion that, Shazam 2 and The Flash struggling is because people know that a reboot is coming. Well, that implies that all the movies that came before Shazam 2 must have been doing big, successful box office. And that's just not the case. I want to take a look at this list here. These are the last 6 DCU movies to come out. All right. Now, granted, at the very bottom there, we got Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which made a horrible $133 million. Okay. That has come out since James Gunn announced that there was going to be a reboot. Okay, so people are looking at that and saying, well, the reason they didn't go see it is because they announced a reboot. Well, what happened before they made a reboot? I want to look at this. So the last movie to come out before a reboot was announced was Black Adam. And in Black Adam, they even said Henry Cavill's going to be in the movie. Woo! Well, that movie couldn't even make $400 million with the world's biggest movie star in it in a 15-year buildup. And it still only made $393 million. Now, the one before that then was James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, a great movie. It only made $168 million. Now, you can legitimately make an argument about that Suicide Squad one because, it was a part of Warner Brothers' day and date release strategy. Okay, so it was in theaters and on HBO Max at the same time. Fair enough. But I do want to point out that another movie that had the exact same release strategy for Warner Brothers, day and date release, was Dune, and it made over $400 million. So I'm saying that Would Suicide Squad have made more money than 168? Yeah. But another film made 2 to 3 times as much, also being released day and date, so it clearly struggled. Now, before the Suicide Squad, you had Wonder Woman 1984. And granted, I'm willing to put an asterisk on Wonder Woman 1984. There were extenuating circumstances there. But then you also had Birds of Prey, The Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, with Margot Robbie. And Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is something a lot of people love, made $205 million at the box office. And then before that, well, also you have to take in consideration that right after Aquaman, which made $1 point something billion in 2018, the very next movie that came out after that was the first Shazam movie. And the first Shazam movie in 2019 only managed to make $367 million. This was a great movie coming off of a $1 billion movie in Aquaman. This was the first DC movie to come out after Aquaman. So basically what you're looking at is, okay, Black Adam, the squirrel sneezed. Shazam, the squirrel sneezed. Birds of Prey, the squirrel sneezed. Wonder Woman 84, the squirrel sneezed. The Suicide Squad, the squirrel sneezed. Oh, then they announced a reboot and Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Well, it must be the reboot. It must be the fact that they announced a reboot. Again, to me, that makes no sense. Again, if all those movies had made $500, $700, $800 million, and then all of a sudden, these DC films started to struggle only after James Gunn announced that there was a reboot coming, then I'd say, okay, well, yeah, there seems to maybe be a cause and effect here. But that simply isn't the case. DC films struggling have been doing so ever since 2018 when Aquaman came out and made $1 billion. After that, it's been all struggle, 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 struggle. And so I got to tell you personally, and I can't say that I know this for a fact. This is just my own personal theory. Like I said, our own brilliant Chris Carr agrees with you. But I got to say, that's why I personally completely disregard the notion that, oh, it's because they announced a reboot. Because if that was the case, the movies before this would have been doing fine, and they haven't been. The squirrel's been sneezing the whole time. We want to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. From the gas pump to the grocery store, your utility bills and favorite streaming services, inflation is everywhere. Seriously, make it stop. Thankfully, there's one company out there that's giving you a much needed break. It's Mint Mobile. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know that ever since I switched to Mint Mobile, I've been saving almost 70% a month over my old phone plan. For people looking for extra savings this year, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. By going online only and eliminating the traditional cost of retail, Mint Mobile passes the significant savings on to you. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you think that James Gunn announcing a reboot after Black Adam is the reason why Shazam 2 struggled and why Flash is struggling? I mean, are we really going to discount all the history of struggle of DC, the Ezra Miller drama, all that kind of stuff? But no. It's the fact that they announced a reboot. That's why the Flash struggled. Or do you agree like me that that can't really make a lot of sense because all the films, all the way back to 2018, have been seriously struggling at the box office before any kind of a reboot was announced. Anyway, that's just my kind of perception of it. How do you guys feel about it? Whatever you think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, make sure you subscribe to our daily podcast, the John Campea Show podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and your favorite podcasting app of choice.